Let me ask you this. Why is it good for Americans? Why should Americans pay for legal representation for people here illegally? You sneak in, taxpayers pay for your lawyer, you sponsor legislation that would allow that. How does that benefit Americans exactly?
I think it's keeping true to who we are. When you have asylum seekers from the most violent, brutal countries in the world, like El Salvador, who are young kids or young families, I want to make sure that they have every opportunity to apply for asylum in this country, knowing the laws, having an advocate, and aren't returned to a country where they face, in some cases, certain death.
But these are people, just to be clear, that came here illegally. They didn't come as refugees through one of our many programs to bring refugees here.
Very often they came as asylum seekers who presented themselves to Border Patrol agents at the border, to customs officers at the ports of entry. And
so then taxpayers are paying for them to fight American law in court? I mean, can you see why people would say...
Not to fight American law, actually to get right with American law, to make sure that they show up to their court hearings, to make sure that they follow our laws. I think again, that's in everyone's interest. But if you're concerned about security...
For us to pay for lawyers so they can fight deportation, that's somehow good for us. Why is it good for us to pay for the health care bills of people who snuck in here against our law? Why did you sponsor legislation that would have allowed that too?
It's good for people who are in our country, who are contributing to this country's success, to be safe, to be healthy, to be able to continue to contribute.
Did the law specify, did your bill specify it only applied to people who were benefiting our country? I don't think it did. I think it was anybody here illegally would get free health care at taxpayer expense. I'm sorry, with all respect, I'm confused by why we should pay for the health care of someone who broke our law to get here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think you're reading the bill correctly.
I think I am.
And I think you're losing sight of the benefit that we gain by those who are contributing to our communities, our states, and our country's success.
Did that law specify that only people contributing to our country would get free health care, or did it also apply to, I don't know, gang members or vagrants? I think they were covered too, weren't they?
I think there's an interest in making sure that if someone is going to be sick, if someone needs help, that we deliver it in the most efficient, effective, cost-effective way possible.
So it's cost-effective to pay for the health care of people here?
Yeah, I mean, you can pay for it in the emergency room.
How about not paying for it at all?
Yeah. Well, then you can watch people die in your community and in your country.
I must be a mean person for not being in favor of it. Congressman, thank you for joining us.
So Beto did it again. He embarrassed himself on live TV. Nothing new there. But Tucker is absolutely right. Basically, the Democrats and people like Beto O'Rourke are pushing these harmful ideas about how we should be managing the southern border. And these kinds of ideas have consequences. We're seeing it in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, all across the southern border. Communities are being overrun by illegal immigrants, and the Biden administration is not taking any meaningful action to deal with that. Beto wants American taxpayers to foot the bill again for illegal migrants who are sneaking across our border, breaking our laws. And that's always the answer that the Democrats have, is that the American taxpayer can just pay more to fix this problem, and nothing actually gets resolved here. Thankfully, we have people like Kari Lake who are taking a strong border stance and actually going to take some initiative to deal with this issue. Let me know what you guys thought of this back and forth between Beto and Tucker here. I thought it was very interesting to listen to. And as always, thanks for watching.